wonderful day. We are pleased. I went in eastern Iowa and I just got back, and I'm really pleased that I was able to get back in time to see my good friend and be able to introduce the outstanding governor of Texas. And I think many of you know that next to me, Governor Perry has served the longest of the present governors. He served 14 years as governor of Texas, and look at the history of those 14 years. You know, Texas used to be a Democratic state. It ain't no more. As you know, Governor Perry followed Governor Bush, and he has really built a legacy of growth and development. I mean, even Time Magazine, I have this Time Magazine from October 28th of 2013. They call it the United States of Texas. That's because under Governor Perry's leadership, they have led the country in terms of job growth, in population growth, in really a strong, diversified economy. And it's really interesting that it tells the story very well. You can see the growth in Texas, and then you see these liberal Democrat states, California, Illinois, and New York, losing people and losing jobs in Texas. I've been to California recruiting jobs, but we're kind of small potatoes compared to Texas. It's a big state. But we're doing good things in Iowa. We've created 130,000 jobs. We brought the unemployment rate down from 6.1 to 4.2. We're the 5th lowest in the country. We've got our state's financial house in order. We've got a lot of things going. But we also are very blessed that we've got a lot of good Republican governors all across the country that are doing similar things, focusing on reducing taxes and regulations, recruiting business and jobs, and growing their state's economies. And if you look at Texas, it's a great example of how to do things right. Because the cost of living is low. You can own for $300,000 in Texas a home with 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, and you can only get a little apartment in San Francisco of 210,000 square feet for that. And then the taxes are astronomical in California or New York or Illinois compared to Texas. So anyway, we're blessed to have a great governor as a guest. He served 14 years. He set an outstanding record and great example of what can be done if you really focus on what's really important. That is jobs, growing the economy, and the result is Texas has become a very red Republican state, and he just reported to us at the Republican governor's breakfast. The Democrats thought they had their own darling that was going to win Texas back for them. Well, right now the Republican candidate is ahead by like 12 points. So it is my honor to introduce a colleague, a great governor that's got an outstanding record, Rick Perry, the governor of Texas.
Terry, thank you. We were in Washington together this last week with the Republican governors and the Democrat governors, and met with the at the White House with the president. I want to share with you how powerful your governor was in a meeting with both Democrat and Republican governors and the President of the United States, and defending Iowa and frankly defending the other 49 states from major cuts that this administration is trying to push upon the states and their National Guard. And as I was taxiing in today, I went by the Iowa National Guard hangar, and I thought about your powerful display of he understands why it's so important to keep that strong National Guard presence in our states. When we have a national event that occurs, or a natural disaster in one state, like the floods that they had back. So it's so important to have a spokesperson like Terry Branstad. And somebody asked me, they said, said, "Why are you going to Iowa?" And I'm Josh, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to go up there and try to get some business, recruit some businesses out of Iowa." And I think somebody in the Democrat Party here must have took that.
Yeah, they took it literally. They don't really know you got a great sense of humor.
Of all the places in the country, I'm going to go to recruit. You fish where the fish are, right? You don't.
Yeah, I showed you where the fish are.
I go to California, Iowa. Yeah, right.
California, Illinois, and New York.
That's where you go.
Those black states where they're losing people.
Let me tell you why I came out. It is important. He is the senior governor in this country, and what he has done in this state is an example that we want to take across this country. It's those red state policies of putting tax policy that's light on the businessmen and women, so that job creators know they can risk their capital and have a chance to keep more of what they work for. It's regulatory policies that are thoughtful, that are predictable. When a company comes into Iowa and either relocates or expands here, they know that because of the policies that this governor's put into place, that they're not going to have the rules changed halfway through. They know that the accountability that's going to occur in the public schools, there's a skilled workforce in place. That's what Terry Branstad's always been about. And it is so important for the rest of the country to see that type of growth. It is important for folks in California, and Illinois, and in New York to take a look at places like Iowa and to juxtaposition what's happening in their states, where you're seeing jobs lost, where the skilled workforce is going down because the public schools aren't performing at that high level. It's important for the country to see governors like Terry. It's important for them to see governors like Rick Scott over in Florida, Nikki Haley in South Carolina, Bobby Jindal in Louisiana. You know, we're doing our part in Texas to send that message that there are places in this country that are putting policies in place that are allowing people to experience their dreams. I share with people, you know, folks think, you know, the state of Texas, well, y'all have that oil and gas industry there, so it's an easy state to govern. And we appreciate the oil and gas industry in the state of Texas, let me assure you of that. But it's being developed because of thoughtful tax and regulatory and legal policies that have been put in place. Now, there's a young couple in South Texas who maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they may have had a minimum wage job at best. Today, that young man's driving a truck in that Eagle Ford part of the country where the oil and gas industry is doing extremely well. He's making over $100,000 a year. They're talking about their children, where they're going to college. They're living in a new 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. They're living the American dream because of policies that have been put in place, in this case, Austin, Texas. But you see 4.2% unemployment in Iowa, the same thing's happening here. You had a $900 million debt when you took over as the governor, and it's a $1.3 billion surplus today. You have a $4.4 billion reduction in property tax. I mean, that's the type of impact that the people of Iowa understand. And it's also the type of policies that people in Illinois understand. Just across that river, and as they look and make decisions about corporate entities, or it may be a small mom and pop business, they're making decisions about where do we want to live as we go forward. And this is an incredibly mobile society that we live in today. Terry Branstad is sending the message, you can come to Iowa. And you can keep doing what you work for. The American dream is still alive and well in this country. Generally speaking, it's in states that tend to be red in color when you look at their policies. And that's a great story all across this country. There are 36 governorships up on the 7th of November. I happen to think that the future of this country is inextricably intertwined with individuals like Terry Branstad. I know for a fact that he and his legislature, Democrats and Republicans alike, working together, are the better source of decision making when it comes to delivering health care in this state than a single bureaucrat or a single agency in Washington, D.C. And we can say the same thing about education or transportation infrastructure. There's a reason I'm such a big believer in that old 10th Amendment. It clearly says that it's the states. The Constitution says there's a few things that they ought to do in Washington, D.C., and they enumerate them. And everything else is left to the states. See, that's the beauty of these 50 laboratories of innovation. When Terry comes up with an innovative approach to government, whether it's health care, whether it's education, I can assure you one thing: it doesn't bother me at all to take it, appropriate it, and take it back to my state and put it into place. And that's the beauty of our founding fathers' vision of this country. I think the future of America is with people like Terry Branstad. In January of next year, I'll no longer be the governor. There will be a philosophically attuned, thoughtful young man who will be the governor of the state of Texas. I feel very confident. And Greg Abbott will continue with the same type of tax and regulatory and legal and skilled workforce policies that have made Texas this very successful state that it is economically. But the future of our country is to make sure that people like Terry are still in office. And I cannot tell you how important it is for you and for me to do everything that we can. I'm going to be traveling across the country and helping guys and gals like Terry. We'll be in South Carolina helping Nikki Haley. Monday I'm going to be in Florida with Rick Scott. It's important. And I want to ask you, I realize Iowa's your focus, but there are other places across this country that you can help and make an impact on as well. And you're blessed to have this man who came back from retirement to lead his state again. Because Iowa was headed in a direction that wasn't good from the standpoint of your economics. And you saw that type of debt. It's been his policies, his focus, because he knows how to win. He knows how to give hope to the citizens of the state. That's what Terry Branstad is all about. It's my honor to call him my friend. He makes me nervous every day when I get up, because I know that the policies that he's putting in place are the types of policies that businessmen and women look at and they go, you know what? That is a place I could live. That's a place I could do business. It's a place I could raise my family. Those are the types of governors that I want to see in state capitals all across this country. Because when our states are competing against each other, when they're putting policies into place to make their state be more competitive, our country becomes stronger. And at the heart of this great union that we have are these governors and the legislatures working together to create policies that make America more competitive in the world. And I can assure you that Iowa is one of those places that has a global impact. I think back to the new president of China and him coming here and understanding and knowing and seeing what this man is all about. See, Terry's not just about Iowa. He's not just about the United States. You have a governor that has a global impact. I know you think he's got a cakewalk, and he probably does. The fact is, how he does is going to impact that United States Senate race. You realize that you have a great opportunity to make history. I can't even remember back when Harkin went there. And the idea that as well as Terry's going to do, and the turnout that you're going to make for him, is going to impact that United States Senate. So even if he's 20 points ahead, pedal to the metal. Keep doing what you know will make a difference on turnout, because there is nothing that would be more powerful for this country than a state that's probably been purple, even blue at times, to be bright red, and sending the message that we believe in freedom. We believe in freedom from over taxation, over regulation, over litigation. We believe in giving kids a future because we're giving them that great opportunity to educate them. That's what Terry Branstad is all about. That's why I'm here. I believe in him. I believe in his vision for Iowa, and I believe in his vision for America. You do your work over the course of the next 10 months, and Iowa will have a resounding victory on the 7th.